there's a place called Facebook, and the Young Turks have decided to put a lot of their super far left stuff on their Facebook channel. It's kind of like the kiddie table. They have a thing called The Breakdown. And it's just all the millennial scrubs, and they get to make videos every day and put it out on Facebook. And they have inflated numbers, and they pat themselves on the back, and they think they're changing the world. It's very embarrassing. Their shit is predictable, it is powerfully cringy, and they've recruited new people. So they got this Jewish guy, he used to work for them, he left, he came back. He used to do sports, but now he's, what's the word, evolved. He's just become more woke, and so now he's covering stories like this. Black student charged with assault for playing dodgeball. This video, believe it or not, I don't believe it, has 654,000 views in 4 days. Wow, that's crazy. Now, let me... how do I phrase this? Okay, the actual title of this video should be Black Student Charged with Assault for Committing Assault. I don't know how they live with themselves. I mean, obviously it's trying to be sensational. Like, what are you talking about? How could you be charged with assault for playing dodgeball? It's an innocent children's game. I mean, that seems like a crazy injustice. And they're justice warriors, right? So, I mean, if you and I are playing dodgeball and I hit you with the ball, how could you charge me with assault? Oh, I have an answer. It's because I was black and you're racist. I wish it was more complex than that. It really isn't. Let's watch.
Wednesday, Bryce was charged with aggravated assault.
I couldn't believe it.
This is on top of a one-day suspension, which occurred right after the incident.
This is a kid that was playing on the playground with his friends.
Yeah, look at him. He looks ashamed. He knows he did wrong. So we get the mom here. We don't get the dad. The dad was, oddly enough, didn't comment. There's no quote from him. You can take an educated guess as to why that might be. But yeah, so the only story, the only side of this that we ever hear from is the mother. So the mother of the culprit, the kid who assaulted another kid. Now, the other kid was white, and that kid's white mom was like, hey, my kid came home with a bloody nose and a black eye and a concussion. So how about some justice for the kid who was attacked? You know, that's not the plot. Please stay on point. This poor black kid is the victim of racism somehow, some way.
I tried not to let it get to this point.
So this is the mom. I can sense a little tattoo there. So she's doing her thing. What's going on with that watch? Why is there nothing on the watch? That's pretty black-pilled. And then it looks like she's married, so there's probably a male involved. That's interesting. Her hips are looking, you know, we got an eggplant here. Not an eggplant, more like a hourglass, perhaps.
This mother claiming her son had been hurt before and that she reported it to the school.
My son was hit twice in the face with a ball previously due to this, and
This story is insane and ridiculously flawed.
So here is the picture of the little boy crying. Don't send money to Africa for this. No, he's a little boy in Georgia. And he didn't do nothing aside from smash a ball in a dude's face.
This is 10-year-old Bryce, who has not even hit 5th grade yet.
So young, younger than Tamir even. Is it possible? I mean, people talk about the fountain of youth. How about the fountain of Tamir? So young.
And now he's being charged with aggravated assault. Seriously.
Yeah, and the guy says it like it's some crazy notion. Yes, kids can assault other kids. Jesus Christ. He did damage to the dude's face. He had a concussion.
His mother received a call from Wayne County Juvenile Court. At first glance within this story through my own research.
Yeah, that's the guy. Rick Strom. And you know it's a stage name. So he's heaving it up pretty hardcore. It's ridiculous. I mean, look how chintzy the whole setup is. Like, he's shooting in front of his fridge. And this is TYT Sports somehow. Oh, that's right. It's related to dodgeball. Only it's not. Because A, they weren't playing dodgeball. And B, this attack, and get ready for this one, happened after the game. So it has nothing to do with the game. But go ahead, you little bearded scrotum.
Is dodgeball. Dodgeball is being thrown around repeatedly. But as the Root reports... So we're taking a story about a black kid who assaults a white kid, but through the perspective of the Root. Well, whose side are they going to take? I mean, is that a credible source? The Root?
Oh, please.
It's not necessarily dodgeball, it's a different sort of dodgeball.
Look at the title of that. Hashtag Dodgeball while black. No, sorry, the root. It's more like hashtag assault while black. And assaulting while black is kind of the same as assaulting when you're any color. It's assault.
One where the balls are thrown in the air. A police report was filed, and it entails another student was struck in the face with a ball. He has a medical condition that makes head injuries especially dangerous. Furthermore, the police report filed after the incident stated Lindley intentionally threw the ball at the boy's face. The child suffered injuries from the blow, sustaining facial tissue damage to his face. He had a black eye and a bruised nose and a concussion.
You know, it's really interesting. These people talk about, I don't know, being on the right side of history and seeking justice and sticking up for the powerless. So we have a kid with a medical condition getting smashed in the face intentionally. That's the facts that he just reported. But immediately he's going to not give a single shit about the white kid who's bleeding and concussed. He's going to care about the poor black kid. Why? Because the mother said he didn't do nothing, even though he did do something. But he's so young. Forget about the bloody other young child who was 9 years old. Forget about him. What about the 10-year-old who assaulted him?
There's so many questions I have. I'll get into that in a second. The root would continue. The mother's son had been targeted before. My son was hit twice in the face with a ball previously due to this. The child apologized to my son, and my son said, "Mom, it's okay. We're still going to be friends." So what changed? Why is Bryce being charged?
Why is Bryce being charged? Oh, he says it. It's rhetorical. He knows the answer. You know why Bryce is being charged with assault? It's not because he assaulted the white kid. No, it's because he's black. Yeah, it's the answer to everything. It's the answer. I thought the answer to 9 out of 10 questions was money. It turns out it's racism.
Well, we think we know why.
Yeah, totally. Look at this picture. When have we ever heard of a young black man doing something violent?
Could you connect the dots?
Your genius, Rick Strom, just never change.
Per Yahoo, a 2018 report by the watchdog Government Accountability Group found that black students in grades K through 12 are far more likely to be disciplined at school, whether through suspension or referral to law enforcement, than kids of other races.
Okay. Yeah, I agree. That's a known thing. So what are you taking from that? Oh, hold on. Let me guess. What did I just learn? Oh, okay. We're asking the question, why? Why do black students, grades K through 12, why are they in need of discipline more often? In other words, why are they breaking the rules more often? Oh God, I mean, maybe it's because they break the rules more often. Maybe it's because they aren't taught to respect authority in the home. Maybe it's because they have a single parent and a non-stable family situation. They lack the guidance of a father. Could be that. Or could be racism. Yeah. So simple, so clean of an answer.
And according to the New York Times, during the 2012 school year, black students were suspended 5 times as often as whites were, and little has changed since then.
5 times as often, okay. Yeah, again, what? I mean, isn't it not scary to look at a stat like that and to flounder and have no conception as to why that is? I mean, one thing to mention here, which is, completely relevant, oftentimes blacks are in black schools. As in, they're run by black people. The principals, the teachers. So the people doing the suspending are black people. Is that lost on you? But of course, blacks get a pass because they have no agency. They're our responsibility. And if something happens to them in disproportionate numbers, it cannot be them, even though it is obviously them. That is the cause for the disparity.
But it does not stop there. Even further than that, several northern states, including Illinois, Michigan, and Wisconsin, rank above Arkansas in the black-white suspension gap.
Yeah, you're just confirming this. You're not adding anything. You're noticing a gap, and if there's a gap, then it's going to be filled with the racism of the gaps. The reason for the gap is racism. There's no reason for it. It just makes them feel good to say that.
And a recent study on California schools from the Brookings Institution finds evidence of this gap despite a statewide initiative to reduce suspension.
Because God forbid we actually look at the truth of the situation and discover that, oh, the behaviors are different. There are other reasons that explain the disparity.
What we do with the Young Turks is call out the grave injustices happening in America and throughout the world.
Fucking hold on. I'm giving you the wank, the international symbol of wanking. Thanks, Rick.
This is another one. Another notch on the belt for injustice.
What? Injustice fucked us? What just happened? Notch on the belt.
What I need everyone to do is go to this page. This is our call to action.
No, God, this is so fucking scandalous. He's basically saying give money to the mom of the kid who assaulted the white kid because she has legal fees. Oh, and look at this, 11,900 raised. They asked for 4,000. Yeah, but look, they've raised almost 12,000. Actually, they raised $20,500. And then the fundraiser ended. So a little black kid throws a ball in the face, intentionally, of a little white kid, busting up his face. And the mother of that black kid gets $20,000. Justice!
Bryce's mother needs your help. There's a fundraiser for legal fees available on Facebook. The page looks like this. I'll leave the link in the description box and first comment to this video. They need our help.
What about the medical fees of the kid that black kid attacked? You people are so fucking lost.
Combating this injustice.
Oh my God. Just stop. Just put down your microphone. Just, ugh.
To an innocent adolescent.
Innocent. Innocent aside from the fact that everyone on the fucking playground saw him do this. The kid, I mean, what do you mean he's innocent? In what way was he innocent?
As for the case, it will go before a judge in juvenile court August 1st for a pre-trial conference. There's so much we don't know. What we do know is that a kid in gym class got hurt.
Got hurt? What, did he slip on a banana peel? He was hurt by that little black boy. Intentionally.
Sustained a few injuries, alleged injuries.
Alleged injuries, now they're fake injuries. Great skepticism, man.
Alleged. And now a 10-year-old black boy
who beat up a 9-year-old white boy
is being tried in court.
Yeah, because he committed a crime.
For a game of dodgeball.
No, it wasn't for a game of dodgeball. It's for what he did after the game of dodgeball, which was to intentionally throw a ball in a dude's face.
Please donate to Bryce and his mother's legal fees.
Yeah, throw money, guys. Use the money. It'll absolve you of your white guilt. I mean, take it to the next step. $500 billion in reparations? Why not?
They need your help for this injustice occurring.
They totally need that help. Help that mom, that poor mom. You know, she's got to sign up on Tinder and find a new man for herself. That costs money. I think they charge monthly, don't they?
Not just in this one city, but it is representative of nationwide what is going on to the oppression of minorities, especially at a young age.
What the fuck are you talking about, Rick? The oppression of minorities? This story is about a white boy being oppressed by a rubber ball that was chucked at him by a black boy. And he says, oh no, this case is not just an individual case. It's happening all over the place. Such hysteria. Nonsense. So he comes out with another video and it's an update. And that has 500,000 views. Watch this.
Wednesday, Bryce was charged with aggravated assault.
We covered this story previously. This is 10-year-old Bryce. Again, 10.
Oh, was he still breastfeeding? God, so young.
And he was charged with aggravated assault.
Is he dead? Edgy shirt, man. Really peacocking. I took notice. Such a conversation starter.
His mother, seen here, received a call.
Oh, these poor blacks.
From Wayne County Juvenile Court, the only time she heard of the charge. This case was deeply flawed and had racial undertones.
Racial undertones? More like just racial skin tones. I mean, we're talking about a black person, so it was racial. What do you mean by that? It's just a carpet bombing of guilt. Racial undertones. My asshole. If anything, it was a racist hate crime against a white boy.
Like how a student was struck in the face with a ball, has a medical condition that makes head injuries especially dangerous.
Yeah, what does that point have to do with anything? That makes it worse, what he did.
And the mother chose to remain anonymous to protect her and her son's identity.
Oh, really? You're not going to start the GoFundMe? You're not sending people to this white woman to give her money? To take care of her child who's all beaten up? Nah, no links given. 0 fucks given.
The child suffered facial tissue damage to his eye. He had a black eye and a bruised nose, and later a concussion. But how could intent be proven when this new, safer version of dodgeball was a game based where the balls are thrown in the air?
How could intent be given? Well, because all of the evidence pointed to the fact that this guy did this intentionally. That's what the little boy said. That's what the other kids saw. And that's what the prosecutor said. They saw all the evidence, and it's quite clear what happened here.
Why was the child allowed to play a contact sport in gym class if this mother was so fearful of him getting hurt? She claimed,
Well, they weren't playing rugby. This was not dodgeball. This was a safer, friendly version of just chucking a ball around. And a nice victim blaming, by the way. Yeah, what's up with that white mom? Why would she let her kid who had a medical condition play sports? Well, because it was safe and was supposed to be supervised. And no part of that game is throwing a ball in a kid's face intentionally. So it has nothing to do with the mom, with the kid, or with the game. It has to do with an assault. Rick, you're a fucking scumbag.
prosecutors in Michigan on Wednesday dropped aggravated assault charges against a 10-year-old boy accused of injuring a 9-year-old classmate with a ball after a schoolyard game the day before the case was set to head to court.
Oh, I noticed that you just sort of brushed over the key word of that sentence, after a schoolyard game. So the 10-year-old boy, oh, he's a black boy. I mean, let's not pretend like they're not racializing this. Black boy attacked and injured a 9-year-old white boy. Notice that nobody's talking about how young the 9-year-old white boy is who was bleeding on the ground. No, it's the poor 10-year-old, so much younger than 9, with a ball after a schoolyard game. After. Well, the Washington Post seems to have gotten it right, but I guess we'll just skip over that.
The prosecutor gave a wish-washy statement to the media that though the charge was certainly sustainable, she instructed her staff to dismiss the charge against fourth grader who threw a ball at a peer that caused facial abrasions and a concussion.
No, how's that wish-washy? Let's break that down. Let's take our time with it. Let's slow it down. Wayne County prosecuting attorney Kim L. Worthy said in a news release that though the charge was, quote, certainly sustainable. In other words, the charge was legit. What they said happened, happened. She instructed her staff to dismiss the case against a fourth grader who threw a ball at peer that caused facial abrasions and a concussion. So all of that is true, but she chose not to prosecute criminally because there are other ways to impose discipline. So the school can handle it, maybe take some privileges, make him do extra work around the school, who knows? But they can handle the punishment and keep it out of the legal system. That was her decision. Now, who was this evil white woman who did this? Kim? Kim, that sounds, basic white bitch, right? I mean, she's obviously racist because she said that the charges were certainly sustainable. Well, there's Kim Worthy right there, Wayne County prosecutor, black. So notice that you didn't racialize that? Oh, interesting. So we're not going to talk about the race of the prosecutor who assessed the case and said it was legit. In other words, it did happen and the black boy was to blame. I mean, so Rick, what's going on with your case for racism here? Where's the fucking racism, Rick?
Their case was this. The children were playing a game known as Tips at Ruth Erickson Elementary School in Canton, Michigan. In the game, participants threw a ball into the air, jump up to catch it, and throw it again before touching the ground.
Interesting that at no point in that game description does it say you chuck a ball in a dude's face. Weird.
Prosecutors allege that after the game, the 10-year-old
After the game.
threw a ball at the 9-year-old with malicious intent.
Totally milish.
However, all of the speculatory motions are inconclusive, and there is a reason this case was dropped.
However, what is this, legalese? You're defending the black boy because what? The fuck are you talking about? There's a reason the case was dropped. Yeah, it wasn't because of insufficient evidence. That's what the black prosecutor just told you.
Furthermore, the prosecutor said, when this case was reviewed,
The black prosecutor? Let's keep it real, y'all.
when this case was reviewed by my office, no one paid attention to the race of either party. It is categorically wrong to suggest that this was charged based on race or geography, she said.
So the black prosecutor is saying keep race out of your fucking mouth because that has nothing to do with anything. We have an injured 9-year-old boy with a concussion and a mother who is concerned. She doesn't give a shit who threw the ball at him or what race the child was. She's concerned about the well-being of her child, which you, Rick, apparently are not. You're concerned about the GoFundMe for the mother of the dude who attacked the white kid.
When this case was reviewed by my office, no one paid attention to the race of either party. It is categorically wrong to suggest that this was charged based on race or geography, she said. Well, that's just negligent.
It's negligent. It's negligent for this woman to say that race doesn't play a part in this case. No, of course, it has to be racism. I mean, Rick would just break down and melt like the wicked Jew of the East. if it wasn't racism, because look, there's a stat that shows that black kids in school cause trouble more often. And that can't be true, can it? Hey, Rick, did you go to school with black people? I did. I was a minority in my school. They bust them into the Palisades and then bust them the fuck out at the end of the day. And do you think if we crunch the numbers of who caused more of a ruckus in class, who do you think it was? Who got suspended more per capita at Pally? I've got an incredibly educated guess.
As I reported yesterday per Yahoo, a 2018 report by the watchdog Government Accountability Group found that black students in grades K through 12 are far more likely to be disciplined at school, whether through suspension or referral to law enforcement, than kids of other races.
It's just like insulting. I would be insulted if I was black. I'm insulted and I'm white. It doesn't matter. Any thinking human would be insulted by this take that, oh, there's a disparity in numbers. It must be fuck whites. Those damn whites again. So insane.
As Odell Beckham was asked, do you think race plays a part in the double standard you're dealing with? To which he answered, race plays into everything, whether we want to believe it or not.
What? Who gives a shit what that guy said? Who is he? Is that a football player? I don't follow the NFL. So what? So the guy's obsessed with race? Yeah, because they're all desperate to be special. What makes you special? Well, I'm a talented receiver. I'm in the NFL. Okay, I got a point there. What else? Well, I'm black. No, that's not a point. You're literally not special for that. No one fucking cares.
Race plays into everything.
Yeah, totally, Rick. What race are you, Rick? What do you identify as? What are your pronouns? Are you special, Rick? What makes you special? Are you chosen? What tribe you in?
And to deny so is unequivocally obtuse.
Unequivocally obtuse. Oh God, calling me obtuse, huh? Didn't they try that in the Shawshank Redemption? Tried to call the warden obtuse.
How can you be so obtuse? What did you call me? Obtuse. Is it deliberate?
Son, you are forgetting yourself.
Efforts were made to resolve this matter before it was sent to us for a charge consideration.
Efforts were made to resolve this matter before it was sent to us for a charge consideration, Worthy said. And we remember Worthy, much like James Worthy of the Los Angeles Lakers, I sounded drunk, of the Los Angeles Lakers. Yeah, he was a forward for the Lakers. Amazing. Man was a stud. Well, maybe this is his granddaughter because she's black and she said the mother didn't want this to go to a court case. She didn't want to press charges. They tried to resolve it, but the mom probably threw a fit and said, no, my child didn't do nothing. No, fuck yes, fuck that, racism.
The mother of the alleged victim had every right to go to the authorities, and the authorities had an obligation to investigate. Now, do I have kids? No.
Irrelevant, Rick. Do you have a brain? Can you imagine what it would be like to be a parent concerned about the health of your child? You don't have to be a parent to grasp that concept.
However, would I, or would you, let your kid, who has a rare medical condition that makes contact sports almost unattainable to participate in without injury, play in said contact sport? Likely not.
Oh my God, yeah. The problem here is the white mother. What was she doing? Why would you let your kid play with the others? Just make him be a freak and not play. The game was a safe game. It was not dodgeball. This has nothing to do with the game. It has nothing to do with the white mother letting her child play at recess. You're so fucking off base. It's crazy to me. Blaming the mother of the victim. Nice. Real nice. Classy, dude.
Justice has been served.
Oh, really? Yeah, because the black kid... What justice? The kid is still injured. He doesn't have a GoFundMe. Where's the justice here? Their definition of justice is so comically backward.
And a family that was in need of lawyer fees does not have to spend their hard-earned dollars for a case that, in the child's mother's words, should not have let it get to this point.
So the case was dropped. So what happens to the $20,000? Is that mom going to return that $20,000?
I fucked your recording.
No, you did. Big time.
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
I am back.
What'd you get?
Popcorn salmon.
Salmon flavored popcorn?
Yes. With shrimp. Sprinkle.
Put some butter on it. We're in business.
Garlic.
I'm hungry, actually. Can you help us? Help me. Okay, thank you. Right. So is she going to return the $20,000 to the people? That would be some justice. Oh, place your bets on that. I think Mama's going to go out and get a new outfit. What do you think? Okay, so, I mean, not to beat a dead horse, but let's beat a dead horse. Francis couldn't resist. Francis had to chime in. Let's see the Scottish, what is he, saint? He's a saint, right? Saint Francis, please save some blacks. Go. The title of his video is, it already has 300,000 views. Stop criminalizing black kids. Watch. Please watch. Watch it. Yeah. Francis, just a thought. What if a black kid commits a criminal act? What then? Are we criminalizing them to notice and reflect upon the fact that they performed a criminal act? How about black kids? Stop criminalizing yourself by committing crime.
Wednesday, Bryce was charged with aggravated assault.
Charged a 10-year-old boy with aggravated assault after he hit a fellow student in the head during a play game of dodgeball.
I couldn't believe it.
This is on top of a one-day suspension, which occurred right after the incident.
This is a kid that was playing on the playground with his friends.
I couldn't believe that any person would think that that is okay to criminalize a child.
Oh, how would you criminalize a child? A child who committed a crime? I mean, what is your problem?
All right, here's a ridiculous story you may have heard of.
That's a ridiculous haircut, and that's a ridiculous shirt. It's a ridiculous backdrop. Is he growing his hair out? Is that a mullet?
This week, where a 10-year-old boy from Canton, Michigan.
Is he transitioning? Wait, is Francis Francis is a girl's name, isn't it? What did Kurt Cobain name his daughter? Francis, no?
Was charged with aggravated assault after injuring another student.
Why is he saying it like that? After injuring another student? Yeah, he injured another student. Francis, why was that a gotcha? Why were you entertained that a student attacked another student? Jesus.
During a game where the goal is to hit said other student with a ball.
Oh, Francis, you've done your research. Well, no, it wasn't during a game. It was after the game, and the game wasn't dodgeball, so no part of the game was throwing a ball at another person. So you're wrong on just everything you said. I mean, it never stops you. You're never going to correct this. I mean, just keep going. Put the blinders on, dude. You're like a shark, just always forward motion.
Known commonly as Dodgeball. You may have heard of it.
Francis, how did you read through any article relating to this story and not understand that it wasn't Dodgeball? How could you do that? Francis, are you fucking retarded? They live in a world where they think that a game of actual dodgeball is being played. A guy gets hit in the face, which does happen in dodgeball, and instead of saying, oh, that's unfortunate, that's an accident, no, they arrest the dude for aggravated assault strictly because he's black. That's the world that they want, and that's the key word. They want that to be the world. Now, it is startlingly fun to witness just how fucking deplorably stupid they are. And it's all under the umbrella of, I want you to understand that I'm fighting against injustice. I'm such a great guy that I'm willing to tell you, I would just blatantly lie to you. It was during a game of dodgeball. No, Francis, it wasn't dodgeball, and it wasn't during the game. Continue.
I feel shocked.
Yeah, Jason Bateman should feel shocked because none of what you just said was true. By the way, go see Ozark. Or is it Ozarks? The TV show. Are they coming out with another season? I think there are 2 seasons. It's really good.
Now, after public outrage, charges were dropped, but just because...
No, not after public outrage. You didn't do anything, Francis. You didn't save the world. It was after consideration by the prosecutor. They chose to take an alternative route.
But just because the charges were dropped doesn't eliminate what has already been done.
Yeah, you're right. A kid has a concussion and a bloody nose and a bruised eye. Yeah, that hasn't been reversed, Francis. Good point. Oh, you weren't talking about that? Oh.
Nor does it eliminate what we should be discussing here.
Yeah. Black crime? Why do I think that you're not going to say that?
Black youth being criminalized.
For committing crimes, yeah.
And it needs to stop.
Yeah, Francis, you just tell those black youths, just sit them down and give them a stern lecture.
Sorry that her child got hurt. I'd be sorry for any child that got hurt.
Even a white child?
Now, you may have heard of the topic of school to prison pipeline and zero tolerance policies.
Yeah, if you're in school and you commit a crime, you should probably go to jail. So if you want to call that the school to prison pipeline, sounds incredibly fancy. You know, if you commit a crime at Disneyland, like, I don't know, these people did the other day, you should probably be sent to jail too. That's what I call the theme park to prison pipeline. This is fun.
But what you witnessed here would have been another example of a child forced into the justice system at an early age for an abhorrent reason.
Abhorrent? That's nowhere near how you pronounce that. Abhorrent? Abhorrent. Abhorrent. You're a boring person, but okay.
If it wasn't for activist involvement.
After public
shoulder pads
pressure, the charges have been dropped, but this may not be over.
Now, the mom found out just last week that her 10-year-old son was charged. She was devastated.
Well, congrats, Mom. Your kid's not going to court, probably getting a slap on the wrist, and he gets a bunch of public exposure, and you get $20,000.
He was set to be in court tomorrow.
I just couldn't believe that any person would think that that is okay to criminalize a child.
Oh, talk about a get out of jail free card. Hey, some kid just committed a crime. Yeah, but he's a child. No, but he committed a crime. A child committed a crime. Why are you criminalizing a child? I don't think you understand. No.
We live in a predominantly white area.
Oh, poor baby. In Detroit? Okay.
Take a look at this baby.
Wow, we really infantilized him. The 10-year-old is now a baby. Is he potty trained? And why is he wearing glasses? They're giving this guy the Menendez brother treatment. Why don't you put him in a pastel sweater while you're at it? How could this little boy, he wears glasses, 4 eyes. If anything, he's probably being picked on. Forget the fact that everyone saw him chuck a ball into a dude's face.
That was supposed to appear tomorrow for a criminal proceeding, a pretrial conference on an aggravated assault charge. This is essentially a straight-A student.
Essentially a straight-A student. I don't know if your spidey senses are tingling, but mine are. That means you're not a straight-A student. That means, do they even give grades to 10-year-olds? Doubtful. So he's not a straight-A student. I call massive bullshit. Anyone want to place a bet on that?
Who had never done anything wrong.
Never done nothing. Wow, that was a full-on. I mean, I've heard of didn't do nothing, but never did nothing? Whoa!
And was charged with a criminal offense.
Yeah, I mean, Jesus Christ. He is just Emmett Till. I mean, this guy's getting shafted by the racist system. Did absolutely nothing aside from aggravated assault.
But for thousands of other kids across the country,
go, Francis, save them all. Good Lord, please do it.
Their story may not garner the same media attention.
Are you talking about Eric Garner? He was assassinated, Francis. He was black.
And so fall through the cracks. Criminalization continues. I mean, the reason this situation could have made its way from the classroom to the courtroom in the first place is so inherently problematic, it needs to be resolved.
What is problematic about that? If you get attacked at school, if it's a severe enough situation and the school determines that it should go to the authorities, send it to the authorities. I mean, these are people being assaulted, violated, violently, vicious. I'll alliterate. I'm not afraid of alliteration.
A spokesperson for Plymouth Canton Community Schools told NBC,
"We didn't land on Plymouth Rock. Plymouth Rock got chucked in that little white boy's face."
Last week that the April incident between the two students was handled, and I quote, in accordance with the applicable district policies and the student code of conduct. Okay, then if your policies could result in a child being charged with aggravated assault for playing a game where the goal is to hit the other person with the ball, then your policies need to be revised.
You're a fucking moron. I mean, are you serious? Francis, are you not embarrassed by yourself? What the fuck are you doing? Wait a minute. Yeah, the school policy is if you commit a crime on the school grounds and it's significant enough, yes, you involve the courts. You involve the cops. I mean, if someone rapes a student, you don't just give them detention. So aggravated assault, where you give a dude a concussion and bloody his face, is pretty severe. It wasn't playing a game, Francis. It wasn't unintentional.
This example shows what happens all too often.
Oh, Francis, when you're done growing your mullet and feminizing yourself, are you on estrogen? Could you please just become a school superintendent or principal and figure out the best policies? Because clearly you've thought this through.
Across this country is that specifically when the child happens to be of color.
Oh, fuck yourself. And what are you talking about? Happens to be. Your whole premise is that it's the reason that it happens. It's the reason you're not talking about a white kid beating up another white kid in some elementary school somewhere, which I'm sure happened last week, Francis. I'm sure if you dug around, you could find that. The whole reason you brought this story up is because of your stupid ass brand of white guilt, and you're saying it's because of race. I don't say it happens to be black.
Is they're over-policed and they're criminalized.
Over-policed? No, criminals are policed. If you are overrepresented in the criminal kingdom, it's not even a thing. If you are disproportionately represented in the criminal underworld, how about that? Then, why don't you talk to the people committing the crimes, not the friggin' cops who are only doing their job, which is to stop the criminals. The cops don't give a shit, okay? They go where they are called.
Such as this poll by Education Week, which shows that black males are 3 times more likely to be arrested at schools more than their white male peers.
Yeah, black people commit more crimes than any other race. It's crazy. It's not even close. Hello, is this microphone on? Do you know anything about any aspect of life? Is there any fact that you are aware of? Are you aware that water is H2O? Are you aware that the sun will come up tomorrow? Bet your bottom dollar that tomorrow there'll be sun.
Black girls do not fare much better either. They are arrested at 1.5 times more than their white peers.
You're so close to seeing the truth, Francis. So damn close.
When you have incidents like this, where schools are referring kids to authorities based on a dodgeball incident.
Dodgeball incident! Like, it wasn't even an act. There was no aggression whatsoever. Francis, it wasn't dodgeball. It wasn't an incident. It was an assault.
It shows that regardless of whether the charges were dropped the day before they went to court, more needs to be done.
So stupid. God. Gong. End this gong show. Okay, so that is what is happening on the TYT breakdown. I feel it's my obligation as a human being to, and even though, my numbers will not be anywhere near their numbers, I feel it's sort of the right thing to do. Just to push back and say, fuck you. So I'm going to hashtag TYT the breakdown and just try to get my videos showing up. So if anyone, imagine being a fan of TYT the breakdown. But if you are, eventually you're going to come to my videos and Uncle Devon is going to set you straight. I'm going to talk you off the ledge of insanity that we're surrounded by stupid young people. That's one way to phrase this. There are stupid old people, don't get me wrong, but stupid young people, they have a special place in my heart. They're obnoxious. Okay, so they need to get off our lawns and they need to shut up and get to the back of the bus, basically. Francis, you're terrible. Rick Strom, you can eat my balls. And I hope you're all doing well. Venmo me, please. Venmo me. I don't know. What's like the thing to say? If you're young, like, hold on, let me try to be hip with it. Okay, let me be groovy. Hit me up on the Venmo, because it's lit and crunk and woke, and let me dap to the Venmo. Oh, fuck it.